Hello and welcome to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean. Today I'm going to share with you some pre-recorded work footage of me. Boom. I'm going to show you how I have taken a few images to create this illustration. Now this illustration is actually a class project, a Skillshare course. Let me go ahead and show you that really quickly. It's taught by Jake Bartlett. Check him out. Great instructor. Can't highly recommend him enough. Definitely makes the Skillshare membership worth it. So the class project essentially is to design and animate a house with strong emphasis on using the graph editor in Adobe After Effects. So in this particular video, I won't go into the actual importing into After Effects. I'm going to make that a separate video along with the animation planning. What I will share with you today, the process of developing that artwork and then isolating that artwork into individual layers, things of that nature. This is more of the pre-production before you actually get to the nitty-gritty.
Okay guys, so I just want to give you a quick overview of the tools and techniques that I utilize to create this pretty simple flat matte illustration. So just to begin, I started with a few reference images to base my design on, and the primary tool that I use to draw most of the shapes would be the pen tool and basic shapes here, and I'll just throw this panel out. And depending on the task, sometimes it's much easier to start from, a primitive shape and modify it to your liking, or to use your pen tool, which, if you're not familiar with the pen tool, this is the core tool of Illustrator, at least in my opinion. So essentially you are plotting points and Illustrator draws a path between those 2 points. If you continue to hold down your left mouse click and drag, you get these Bezier handles, which allows you to manipulate that path between those 2 points. Additionally, what you'll see me do as well is that I'll hold down the space bar, and then you can replot that selected point wherever you may need it to be. So we also have add anchor point and delete anchor point, which I use as well. And so let's just say I draw a square, but I don't really need a square. I need some unique shape. So this is where I'll add a additional point to the path. So I put an extra point there. I'll switch to my sub selection tool and manipulate that shape, or add additional points to create unique shapes. And lastly, we have the anchor point tool, and this essentially allows you to select anywhere in between the 2 anchor points on a path, and you can pull out essentially a Bezier handle on each side and be able to manipulate each of those handles individually. So that's that. For the windows and a lot of the cutout shapes here, I utilize the Pathfinder as well as compound shapes, or the Pathfinder end up creating compound shapes. And compound shapes are just exactly what they sound like. They're just multiple paths essentially stacked or grouped up or represented as a single object. And this is useful for more complex shapes, or even complex masks. But if you look at the diagrams, you can kind of see what the end result would be. Okay. Mask, which I utilize in a few different areas, but masking is pretty simple. I don't think I really need to explain it too much. Masks are pretty useful for tucking in your artwork within objects. With tool, with Shift W, I can take a path, and anywhere on that path where you see that dot, I can pull up or down to expand the width from that point. Warp effects, I'll just leave this selected here. I'll go down to warp, and I utilize these as well just to get some more organic bend in the existing artwork, such as with the leaves. So you can definitely play around with those settings as well, but I utilize that within the project. The symbol sprayer, you can take any object. In this case, I'm going to use this stroke path, and I'm going to drag it into the symbol library. If you don't have that open, you can find it under your Windows pane way down at the bottom, and you can either drag in to make a symbol. The settings here doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect the artwork inside of Illustrator. Once you have made a symbol, then you can utilize the symbol sprayer and all the manipulation tools for modifying those symbols. So make a symbol, use the symbol sprayer, and I believe I use the symbol shifter, which pushes the individual symbols or clusters around your brush path that you draw over it. And that's pretty much it. These are all the tools that I've used. I've kept this pretty simple. I've not decided if I am going to use shape layers or not inside of Adobe After Effects, but I kept my artwork pretty flat and compliant just in case. All right, guys, on to the video.
So without further ado, here is me working.